one thing I'm definitely incapable of tolerating is uncertainty, and I've come to realize this in the last year and a half because I've gone through one of the most uncertain periods of my life, and whilst initially the uncertainty was excruciating and unpleasant and unbearable, I've come to realize it's actually one of the biggest things I need to figure out and kind of just get comfortable with it as a person. And it's really helped change me in ways that I didn't think it would. And I think I've always been someone that liked being on the well trodden path, and I liked the security and predictability of just following the kind of standard rules of society and the norms that your parents are going to push you towards. So that being, go to school, you do study, you have a routine, you come home, do your homework, and you kind of work for that year, then you do your exams, and then, you kind of then go from that period to having GCSEs, and then after GCSEs, I knew, okay, the next big thing was A levels, and so all my focus was almost without having to think or have any responsibility or accountability or ownership was just, okay, just I have to do A levels. I'm going to do A levels, and just focusing on A levels is the next thing. And so picking my subject, studying, and then just not really having to think further than that, but just focusing clearly on doing really well at that next thing, and then getting to that point and doing that thing, and then feeling extremely satisfied when I would achieve my A levels and I got good grades and it was great. And then the next thing was, obviously university. So with my A levels, I got into a good university, and again, uni was a set time period of 3 years. I'd picked my course, it was law. I knew I had to study certain topics, certain modules. And yeah, there was this kind of comfortability, for me at least, in things being pre planned and predicted, and all my friends being on the same kind of trajectory. So everyone was at uni studying, we all had exams, we'd all come home for Christmas or summer. And so there was this kind of feeling of community that I found very comforting, knowing that I was on the right path and I was doing the similar things to my friends. Um, then uni kind of becomes a bit tricky, and you're going through like mental health stuff and figuring out who you are and trying to make friends and figure out what you want to do with your life and what hobbies you're interested in and all those kind of things. And then uni ends, and again, then it's like, okay, time to get a job, and everyone is on the same pathway again, and everyone's looking for a job. And so looking for a job was hard because, again, it's not one of those things that's guaranteed, and everyone starts going off in different directions. And then I eventually got a job that I was very happy with, and it was a good job, and I was in that job for many years. And again, there was this comfort of like, well, I have a job and I'm not planning on leaving, so I'm just going to keep going in every day. And you just don't really think. And then you don't really think. You just know, okay, well, I'm going to, go from being this level and then get a promotion, then work for a few years and then get another promotion, and just keep going. And there's kind of this monotonous but almost reliable rhythm to everything that you stay on the beat and you just do that, and it was fine. What I found really makes me uncomfortable is where I find myself now, where I'm kind of not living this very linear life, and I'm doing different things, and I'm doing creative things, and I'm doing bits and bobs, and I do some of this in the morning, some of that in the evening, and there's not like a clear pathway of where I'll be in 6 months or a year or 2 years or 5 or 10. And that's what really upsets me the most. I think I just don't like the uncertainty of things. And I like knowing, okay, if I input versus output, if I do this for this long, like the gym, not that I go to the gym enough, but like the gym, for example, if you go to the gym 5 times a week and you do it for, a year, 2 years, you will see results. It's just consistency over time. And I liked that about school, and I liked that about uni, and I liked that about work, was having that feeling of, okay, I just need to come here and do this thing and do well, and I will get promoted, I will get a new title, I will get a pay rise, I will be liked by my team, I will get good feedback. And it was kind of, as I said, comfortable. And now I've kind of gone the opposite way from that, and I'm in this creative, unknown kind of position of life. Sorry, that laugh was so weird. But I'm doing content, and I'm running a food business, and I'm trying to write, and I'm, producing short films, and I'm doing all these things that there's no guarantee from any of these things that if I just keep trying hard that I'll be successful or do well. And that is something that I think I only really fully understood how stressful that would be for me when I started doing it. I didn't realize how much I liked routine and I liked stability. And that's not to say that one is better than the other. I actually think I felt more I don't want to say alive because it sounds dramatic, but I felt more energized and more in control and more like myself in this period of like kind of going on this freelance journey, just because I'm able to dictate my days in different ways, and I'm able to focus on where I'm feeling inspired or where I have energy, and I'm able to use my creativity. And that's one thing I was never using when I was in those other places. I was always just again copy and pasting the guy on the left and the right. I was following just the typical rat race, and whilst it wasn't fulfilling, it's a tried and proven method. You get a salary, you can save, you're progressing in the world. But I've realized that yes, I can go back to that, and I can always go back to that if I want to. I have my degree and I have my work experience, but getting over the pain of how uncertain and how uncomfortable this has been, I've realized that the times that you progress the most and you put your head down and you work hard are the most uncomfortable ones. It's the uncomfortable time periods and situations that make you grow and develop you. And I guess they say, diamonds are formed under pressure. And with some of the things that I was comfortable with and enjoying before, there was pressure, but it wasn't pressure of the unknown. And if I don't manage to figure this out, then I might not get somewhere. I didn't have that intensity. Whereas now I have to psych myself up some days and be like, look, get out of bed and, you got to start doing stuff because this isn't a joke anymore. But in the same way, it's making me think of new ways to do things, and I'm networking and I'm meeting new people and I'm applying for funding and I'm trying these things I never had time to do before. And it's made me, whilst I still get scared and some days I sit down and think, like, what am I doing? And this is kind of wild, and why would anyone ever do this? But I have to remind myself that it's okay to not know and be able to control everything. And it comes down to me also being a little bit of a control freak. I like to know what the future looks like, and I like to plan things. And you want to go on a holiday and you want to think about investing and all these kind of things. And I'm not in a position where I can actually freely do that because I have to kind of see how the year goes, and business and bookings and events and clients coming or not going, and the economy's bad in the UK. And so there's a lot of uncertainty, like on a personal level, but also globally. Like, the economy in the UK is terrible. Politics is insane. The weather here is terrible as well, which is not really relevant, but I just want to say that. And so it's hard to really, when I try and picture, okay, when I'm 30, which is this year in September, or when I'm 35 or I'm 40, what will my life look like now? I don't know. And I had a very clear picture before when I was working. I had this picture of, okay, well, I'm going to be probably working an office job and I'll be on this kind of salary and I'll have this much saved and I'll probably have a property and I'll have this and that. And so when I was worried about my future, that would give me like a sense of comfort. Would I have been happy in that position? I don't know. And the answer is probably no. But at the same time, I had an answer. Now, I have no clear answer to that. And it does, even just saying it makes me feel a bit worried because you want to know that you're going to make it and be successful. But I think that's one thing I'm learning is being an adult, that a lot of things are out of your control, and all you can do is control the things that you can control, which is showing up every day, trying your best, being motivated, setting good habits, breaking out of the cycle. And even though you might not get everything you want or go, and I'm a realist, I'm a real realist and sometimes a bit of a pessimist. I'm not going to sit here and say that if you want something, you'll get it. That's not true. There are people that want cures for their health and they don't get it, or they apply for jobs repeatedly and they never get the job they want, or they want to move somewhere and they can't get a visa. Like, life is not fair, and that's also part of it. Like, there are things in life that you can't control and are not always going to happen, but one thing you can do is give yourself a sense of comfort by knowing that I'm doing all I can and the rest is out of my control, and that is uncertainty. And so I've learned to try and just allow myself to not hyper focus on the future all the time and worry about what's going to happen here, there, and like I just don't know. And it could be great and it could be average and it could, God forbid, be bad, but I'm not going to know until I get there. So I'm trying to just be comfortable with the fact that all I can really put my energy into is today and now, and as long as I'm doing the right things every day that I can, then the uncertainty is something I have to just get used to and tolerate. And it's not something that I think is an easy lesson, and it's not something that is, I don't think I'm fully over it now. Like, sometimes I sit down and think, oh my God, I can't actually tolerate, I can't do this anymore. I just need to know that I'm going to have this much coming in each month. I'm going to be doing this and I'm going to have this title. And again, like, my friends are getting titles and promotions and, getting certain stages of their career, and they're on this ladder and they're climbing up continuously, and they know that, okay, I'm moving in a way that feels like it's in the right direction. With things are going well for me, but I don't like, again, it's like, is this definitely what I should be doing? There's no one to kind of guide and tell you like keep doing this and you'll end up here kind of thing. So it can be hard when you compare yourself to your friends, being okay, well, they seem to have certainty in, you know, their life and their future and you don't have that. But I've realized that everything comes in cycles and chapters, and I might be going through an uncertain period now, and then someone else won't be late, will be later, and someone could lose their job, or someone could end up, you know, having to move back home, or they might end up changing careers, or they might be having kids and then they have to get a different job. Like, there will be periods in everyone's life where things will be uncertain, and all you like, the sooner you can allow yourself to obviously be human and process your emotions, but allow yourself to tolerate that uncertainty and not become overwhelmed. Because I was, at the start of this whole period, very overwhelmed every day with the fact that I didn't know what was going to happen the next day or the next week or the next month, and I was constantly checking my emails and constantly thinking, okay, well, what if I do this and this and this and this, then maybe I can do that, and okay, I got to start doing this. And I have this habit where when I get overwhelmed, I start freaking out and over planning, trying to do a million things at one time to try and compensate for the feeling of not knowing that one thing will work. So I start doing 50 million things and I'm just overwhelmed and burnt out and I'm not doing anything well. So I'm learning to catch myself in the act and stop myself from doing those things that are silly and overwhelm myself, and just learn to remind myself I'm doing good, I'm doing well, I'm doing all I can, and allowing myself to just sit in the uncertainty, not focus on it, and carry on. And so I hope that if you are going through an uncertain period or you're struggling, that this will help you remember that uncertainty is natural, it's part of life, and it's okay to not know or be in control, and that it helps you just try and be calm and be nice to yourself. And of course there'll be good days and bad days. Some days I can't deal and I don't like it, and some days I'm better. And so yeah, the bottom line is life is uncertain. We're all going to have uncertain periods, and the sooner we have the tools to allow us to cope with that, the better we'll do. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm enjoying making these videos. I find them quite cathartic, and in a way for me it's a release to get things off my mind that I feel I need to get out. And also it's great to see people commenting and engaging. So obviously somewhere in the YouTube world there's a pocket of people that these videos are for. So I'm going to keep making them. Camera died, but this is going to be the kind of vibe of this channel going forward. Just picking topics that I think people can relate to and talking about them, and hopefully creating a space where people can engage and relate and share their own opinions. And yeah, so if you did like the video, let me know in the comments. And if you have any comments on what I said, again, please comment down below. It's always nice to have engagement. And if there are any topics that you'd like to see me talk about, then please let me know, because I'm always looking for inspiration of what to talk about. And that is it. So I will see you on next week's video. Thank you for watching.